Imagine having everything that you ever wanted in life. A stable job, an amazing wife, and even living life in the Windy City. However, what if all it took was one incident for your entire elated mental state to come crashing down? Greetings, salutations, and welcome to our channel. Today, we will be covering the story of Charlie Whitmer, a man who pressed on even in the face of absurd tragedy. As always, do not forget to leave a like on this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. Make sure to press that bell notification button as well in order to ensure that you will never miss a single one of our uploads. Without further ado, let us dive into the story. Charlie Whitmer was a 33-year-old bachelor that lived in Westtown, Chicago. As a daily mantra that he strictly followed, he never believed in bad luck. With the work that he put in, everything in his life ended up working out perfectly. Because of this, he believed that he would never have to worry about a tragedy striking. It was 2013 when Charlie was working as a partner at a trading firm. He was spending his free time relaxing at Wrigleyville Bar in Chicago when he ran into Catherine, who worked as an operations manager. Needless to say, he immediately fell in love with her. They started to get to know each other day by day, as they grew to love each other and even have conversations about starting a family someday. Well, that someday came in 3 years. As the August of 2016 came, they started to have plans to get married. However, things did not go as smoothly as they planned, as something interrupted their happiness. Initially, it seemed like everything was just fine with the livelihoods of the couple. However, as time passed, mysterious bruises started to appear all over Charlie's body. Along with the sudden physical changes, he started to find everyday life to be increasingly tiring. He immediately felt that something was wrong, as he noticed something very familiar about the sensations that he felt. When Charlie was 15, he had been diagnosed with aplastic anemia. However, he was treated, with the treatment taking the form of a bone marrow transplant. It seemed to have worked out at the time, but the condition that he was in seemed to have made a comeback to haunt him. Especially at a time in his life where he really needed to be strong. However, Charlie and Catherine still spent time as a loving couple, and as the December of 2017 came around, the household was alight with fantastic news. It came to light that Catherine was pregnant with more than one baby. The medical reports claimed that she had 2 embryos implanted in her uterus, which can result in many outcomes. The news was nothing short of a pleasant surprise to Charlie and Catherine. Charlie and Catherine decided to be prepared, as they went to the doctor in order to find a definitive answer as to what to expect, and the answer that they received shocked them to the core. It turned out that Catherine was pregnant with 3 children on the way. It came to light that one of the eggs had split in 2, causing the number of embryos to be 3. The hopeful couple spent the coming weeks preparing for the 3 bundles of joy. Everything seemed perfect, at least until Catherine hit the 27th week of pregnancy. On the Memorial Day of 2018, Catherine woke up with a splitting headache that required her to be rushed to the hospital immediately. However, the news they received from the doctors was something that immediately filled Charlie's heart with dread. As Charlie had told media outlets, "I was in the waiting room, and someone came out and said, 'Your wife has a big bleed in her brain.' At that time, I didn't know anything about what a brain bleed meant." Even with all these new developments, Charlie and Catherine's only focus was to make sure that their babies were born as healthy as they can be. As the days closed in to when Catherine should go into labor, Catherine's condition only worsened. It came to a point where there was only a month left before labor, and the stress of being pregnant alone was weighing heavily upon Charlie and Catherine. However, the day finally came as the triplets were finally born. They were named JP, Bobby, and Arden. The triplets were born via C-section on the 4th of June. While the birth process went as expected, all 3 babies required immediate medical attention from the moment they came into this world, due to them being born underweight. That, along with the requirement of CPR, caused the nurses to take them directly to the NICU. As luck would have it, all 3 of the newborns turned out to be healthy. However, things took a turn when Catherine's headache started to make a comeback, just 2 days after the birth. Because of the increasing pain and the worsening condition, the doctors decided to make her undergo emergency brain surgery to help with some of the pressure that she was feeling. However, disaster struck Charlie's life, as Catherine never woke up from her surgery. She never got to spend some quality time with the 3 beautiful children that she gave birth to. Charlie was overwhelmed with sadness, as Charlie's brother was with him, consoling him while Charlie cried that his children will never be able to truly know their mother. As an emotional gesture, the 3 babies were placed into Catherine's unconscious arms. However, what happened next took the doctors by surprise. Catherine, who was on the brink of being brain dead, began to cry. Catherine's doctor, known as Dr. K, claimed that he could not explain the occurrence medically. He did claim that while she was on the brink of being brain dead, it did not mean that she could not feel the presence of her 3 beloved children. The fact that she still managed to sense her precious children, even on the verge of death and unconsciousness, is a testament to the connection between a mother and her children. Before her tragic death, Catherine managed to bring 3 new lives into our world. However, Catherine's good deeds did not stop after her death, as she also decided to save lives after she had passed. 6 other lives were saved with the donation of her organs. The fact that Catherine was a registered donor is a clear indication of what kind of person she was. She was a giving person when she was alive, and she decided to continue her good deeds even when she had departed our world. On the 8th of June, the doctors reached out to Charlie with the news that Catherine had officially died. However, he kept a straight head, as he believed that he needed to be strong for the 3 beautiful bundles of joy that Catherine gave him. With everything that Charlie had been through, he found himself spending his Father's Day at the hospital, as he watched over his 3 newborn children in the neonatal intensive care unit. He sat close to them as he wished for them to be strong so that they no longer needed medical assistance to survive. However, Father's Day lacked colour for him, as it took place the day after Catherine's funeral. The doctors that took care of the birth and Catherine all attended the ceremony in respect. Deciding to tackle his fate head-on, Charlie realised that the situation he was in was rather delicate. While Charlie loved his job, he realised that he needed all of his focus in order to take care of his 3 newborn babies. He faced his new reality head-on as he bit down on his heartbreak and decided to be there for his children. He had to make sure that he can make up for the lack of a mother figure in their lives. However, Charlie did not just stop there. In 2019, Charlie called up everybody he knew to come together in order to participate in the March for Babies in Grant Park in Chicago. The walk took place for the purpose of raising money for maternal, fetal, and neonatal health. Charlie's group united under the banner Team Catherine, as they managed to raise over $80,000 for the heartwarming cause. Charlie had always been a very quiet person. Catherine, on the other hand, had always been the more outgoing person in the relationship, as all her loved ones acknowledged her to be a people person. After Catherine's passing, Charlie strived to work against his introverted nature and worked on being more outgoing. He considered it a necessary change for his children, as he did not want to be the father that kept his distance. Charlie considered Catherine to be an everlasting inspiration, as he strives to live up to everything that she had taught him about life. He just wishes every day that Catherine was still by his side to see her darling children grow. So, what can we gather from Charlie Whitmer's tragic story? Our lives tend to take all sorts of twists and turns, and even when tragedy decides to strike, we must all take the time to think of the things that are important. In Charlie's case, it was to be a good parent to the children Catherine gave birth to before departing our world. In your case, it could be anything. Wallowing in sadness is never the solution. Anyway, that marks the end of the story of Charlie Whitmer. So, what do you think about this story? Let us know in the comments below, and as always, if you liked the story, be sure to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more stories like this. Be sure to share this video as well. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.